So whenever you compare quantities that have different units, that is referred to as a rate. You are considering two different units, kilometers and hours. You are referring to different quantities. You have the cost per unit time in hours, in minutes, in seconds. So the rate is used where such conditions occurs, and that is represented or majorly presented by per kilometers per hour. It is the cost that you are having per unit time. Is it per minute? Is it per second? The consumption of fuel liters per unit time, is it per minute? Is it per hour? Is it per second? Once you consider that it's a rate per unit, per unit time, kilometers per hour, it's not only about time, it can be considered, maybe considering volume, cubic meters per given unit. It can be per second, or we can consider this one, the MDV per mass per volume, mass per density. So the moment I write this mass over volume, mass in kilograms, volume per cubic meter, per cubic centimeter, is it grams per cubic centimeter per this concept. Once you see this, you are dealing with a rate. It is what? A rate. So in actual sense, we are simply saying a rate is used to compare, all right, to compare quantities, that have different units. So they have different units. For an example, we saw that one, kilometers and hours. We are comparing kilometers and hours. How is that possible? Rate allows us to do that. All right. For an example, we saw kilometers and what? And hours compared together. We saw the kilograms and the cubic meters, something like that. Different units are being compared, consumption liters and hours. If we have that, it is referred to as a what? As a rate. Kilometers per hour, kilograms per cubic meter, liters per what? Per hour. So we use per for a comparison. So use per, which is what? The word per, like this one. So which simply is used for what? For comparison. So meaning to say, a rate is simply an indication of a, suppose this is what we refer to as a rate. Kilometers per a certain unit, it is gonna be 20 kilometers per. What is per? must be per single unit hour, per each hour, per each hour. So it is quantity A to quantity B. Kilometers, which is the distance, to time. We're talking about distance over time. So there are two quantities referred. So simply a rate is equal to quantity A over quantity B. So this is the case. Given per single unit. So this goes to the calculations of those distance. So in that case, you can also consider the DST, distance, speed, time. So we have that per unit time. The moment you say distance over this, it's over a fraction. This one over this, it is giving us the speed. So meaning you say speed, which is equal to distance over time, is a rate, this one. Because it's quantity A to quantity B. It's a rate. It's a rate. Distance in kilometers, our time in hours. Distance in meters, our time can be in minute, our time can be in second. It's a comparison of two units. It's a rate. That you're having there. Kilometers per hour. So where the rate is considered, it simply tells us that we can have one quantity from that rate. We can calculate it. Let's say our rate here is 2. Then 2 is equal to, we know quantity B. Maybe quantity B is equal to 3. We can find quantity A by substituting into the formula. We can make whatever that we want the subject of the formula by solving the equation. Quantity A can be determined. You cross multiply rate times quantity B. It is up to you. But the rate is simply per. And another concept that I want you to understand, if we say per 20 kilometers per hour, what does it mean? It means for each and every single hour that we have, we are going to cover 20 kilometers. 20 kilometers is equivalent to a single hour. We are comparing in that manner, say 20 kilometers we covered in 1 hour. So the moment we say 2 hours, it means this one is going in the same manner. Multiply by 2, it's now 40 kilometers. 3 hours like that, 3 times this, it's now at 60 kilometers. So we can know the distance that is covered for any time that is given from understanding this per unit time. The cost is given as 20 Rand per minute. Meaning to say for each and every minute, you are getting 20 Rand. Each and every minute. So what about in 5 minutes? Simply going to be 5 times 20. You simply have to multiply. So this is the condition that you have, because it is per unit, per minute, meaning to each minute. And also comparison, as it happens, you also need to understand conversion of units. All right, which is back from your grade 7 mathematics 6 there, conversion. We know that in an hour we have got 60 minutes. In a minute we have got 60 seconds. So meaning to say in an hour We have got 60 times 60, which is 3,600 seconds. You are ought to just understand those basics, because somehow you might need those conversions. Talking about kilograms, a kilogram is equivalent to, kilo means 1,000 grams. All right, a kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 what? 1,000 grams. Another one, some for distance also, yeah, 1 kilometer, 1,000 meters. A meter, yes, got 100 centimeters. A centimeter, yes, got 10 millimeters. All right, those are some of the basics of unit conversion that you just need to understand as you are working out your questions. All right, but this is what you need. So I want us to attempt questions and see how can we use this idea to answer these questions. All right, the first one we are given here, that a car travels at 60 kilometers per hour. That per hour, it simply tells us that this is what? A rate. We have a rate, and this rate is something that is also important to us. We talked about this, the issue of what? The speed, kilometers per hour. We know they gave us speed. Yes, it's a rate, but it represents what? Speed. These kilometers per hour, they gave us speed. Number one, how long does it take to travel? How long? We're talking about what? The time that was taken to travel 240 kilometers. So this one, it is in your hands, the way that you're going to answer it. The first one, if we attempt this question in the rate manner that we are given, the way that a rate is given there, I said a rate simply indicates that it is a certain quantity to another quantity, quantity A to quantity B. All right. So if this is true, it simply means the rate that we are given here, 60 kilometers per hour, because we said it represents a rate per, this one that here is per. It is equal to what? Quantity A over quantity B. What is our quantity A? Our quantity A is, when you say 60 kilometers per hour, it means over 1 hour. So quantity A is kilometers distance. Quantity B, it represents the time. So 60 is equivalent to distance over time. 60 that we see, it's quantity A over quantity B. So quantity A is the distance, and that is what you're given here. Distance, remember, is measured in kilometers. So 60 is equal to our distance, 240 kilometers. Distance over what? The time. How long? What you are supposed to calculate. What is the time? You do not know, so you can just put T there. So it's like solve for T when it is like this. When you are using the rate concept to say rate is equal to quantity A over quantity B, you can answer this question like that. All right, I'm going to explain another way. There are so many ways. So using this one, let us find what T. And we know that from that kilometers, our time is not in hours. So T is time in hours. How do we solve? We can cross multiply. This is over 1. So you can cross multiply 60 times T. That is 60T. All right. 1 times 240. That is 240. So divide by 60. This is a product, so you're going to get rid of that. Remember solving equations, okay? From your grade 7, you did something like this, all right? 240 divided by 60, that was going to give us what? A 4. So meaning to say T representing our time is what? 4 hours. All right. So that is how you can answer this question. All right. Or you can use your calculator. 240 divide by 60, which is what? 4. Just like that. So we used the condition of the rate. Okay. Which is not a problem. Another way that we could have answered this question is to understand what that rate represents. And we said it represents speed. So I'm given speed of 60 kilometers per hour. Distance is also given of 240 kilometers. What is going to be my time? So if I understand it, that means I can simply use my DST diagram to answer it, because I know that I'm asked time. So time is distance over what? Distance over speed, just like that. So therefore, T is distance over speed. What is our distance? All right, 240 over the speed 60. So that was going to give us 4. Remember, kilometers per hour. It means your time is in hours. So that was going to be 4 hours. You see, so many ways. There you are applying the idea of that. The rate that I'm given, I know that it represents speed. So I can use the DST diagram to answer this. Just like that. Same answers at the end of the day. All right, let's check another one. Number 2. Number 2, it is how far will the car travel in 5 hours? How far? The distance now. So you are to determine the distance in 5 hours, given the time 5 hours. Remember, previously the speed is given as what? 60 kilometers per hour. So meaning to say we can calculate our distance. So using this DST, you're gonna say distance, it's what? Speed times time. So distance is speed times time. So distance, speed, we have it, 60 times our time, which is 5. So that was gonna give us 300. Remember distance in what? Kilometers. You are done. If you are using this DST concept. But if you are using the rate, if you are using that way of the rate, you go back and apply in this manner. Rate is equal to quantity A over quantity B, which is very true. So meaning to say, our rate in this case, which is what? 60. Rate is 60. Is equal to quantity A. Remember we said from kilometers per hour, quantity A is distance, B is time. So quantity A is the one that you must calculate distance. You do not know that one. So quantity A, that's our distance, over quantity B. And what is our quantity B? It is the time. And time is given as what? As 5. From that rate. Rate is equal to quantity A over quantity B. So from that rate, kilometers per hour, it's distance quantity A over quantity B, kilometers over hour, like that. So this is A, this is our B. So meaning to say, you're going to form an equation, then you can solve for D, because that is the unknown. All right, how do we solve this one? It's a fraction, so you can easily cross multiply 1 times D, that is D. So you're going to multiply 5 and what? 60. 5 times 60 is what? Is 300. Remember, D represents our distance, how far, in what? In kilometers. You answered this from understanding the rate. It's another way of answering the same question. All right, so that is it. That is it. Let us move on. Convert the rate this rate 60 kilometers per hour to a rate measured in meters per second. You see that part that I was explaining. So it will be important somehow for you to know these conversions, kilometers and meters, this and that, hours and seconds. So when they say convert, you just consider as it is like this. All right, let's consider this one. You are given to convert 60 kilometers per hour to meters per second, or to be measured in meters per second. All right, let's start by knowing what this represents first. 60 kilometers per hour means per simply means over that. It means 60 kilometers over per hour. Hour. 1 hour. Per hour means it's 1 hour there. So it is representing kilometers over hours. But here they are saying change it so that your answer will be meters per second. It simply means change kilometers to meters, change hours to seconds. That is what they are simply saying from meters, from that given meters per second. So how do we convert now 60 kilometers to meters? We go back now and apply the concept. A kilometer is 1,000 meters. So 60 kilometers means 60,000. 60 times 1,000 meters. It is now in meters. Over what? 1 hour in seconds. It is equivalent to what? 1 hour in seconds, 3,600. So in place of that 1 hour, we are going to have it in seconds. All right, as what? 3,600 seconds. So we have now meters over what? Seconds. It will give us meter per second. It will give us meters per second. By simplifying this, your answer is going to be in what? Meters per second. So simply divide the two. So this is it. How do you convert? Convert to meters. Multiply by what? 1,000. Convert to seconds. Multiply by 3,600. We are having that. So that was going to be what? Let us just use our calculator. 60,000 over what? 3,600 is 50 over 3. So you can write 50 over what? Over 3 meters per second, which can also be written as a decimal. That's 16,666 and so on. 66, which is going to be 16,67 to 2 decimal places. Can even round off, shift, set up, fix number 6, then press 2. So that will be 0.67 meters per what? Per second. It is now in meters per second. You just need to know what that given unit is equivalent to what you're to convert. Those are the typical questions. They repeat these. They repeat. So do revision. All right. Let us consider another one. We are given that on this question. All right. Let me just remove this one so that we do not have disturbances along the way. So do revise, guys. All right. There we are given here that a car uses 40 liters of petrol to drive 500 kilometers. Calculate the rate. The moment they say rate, they must be pair. It must be quantity A to quantity B. So here they're saying the rate of what? Petrol consumption in kilometers per liter. Per liter. All right. How do we answer this one? Knowing that it's kilometers per liter, already you have the rate from, you have it. Because rate means what? Quantity A to quantity B. That's rate. Quantity A to quantity B. So what is quantity A? The first one, kilometers to B. So kilometers. So it must be quantity A, which is in kilometers distance. What is measured in kilometer distance over the liters? It is what? For that fuel, which is our petrol. The fuel used. Number, the liters of fuel used. So what is that distance? It is 500 kilometers. And what is the amount, the liters that were used of the fuel, of the petrol? 40 liters. So this gives us a rate, kilometers per liter. Kilometers per liter. So simply divide this one, 500 over what? 500 over 40. So that is 25 over 2, or as a decimal, 25 comma, let's go back to the normal mode. Sorry for that. All right. So this is 500 over what? Over 40. That's 12 comma 12,5 kilometers per what? Per liter. Just like that. You can represent L, or you can write per liter like that. It is in your hands. So this one was a basic, it was just a direct and basic question. All right, let's consider another one. A car drives 740 kilometers from Port Elizabeth to Johannesburg in 9 hours. Calculate the average speed. They never mentioned about rate like here. Calculate the rate of petrol consumption. Why are they not writing that? Because they know you are supposed to understand that as for speed, it represents rate. Remember, I talked about that from our DST. Speed, distance over time, that kilometers per hour. It's a rate per hour. So they are asking about a rate here. So even if you do not know, you can write rate is equal to distance over what? Time, to have that. Or you can simply go back to this, speed, distance over time. So that is it. Speed is equal to distance over time. So what is our distance? If the distance is given in kilometers, your time hours. Meters, your time in seconds. It is best that way. So we are given our distance in kilometers, 740 kilometers. That is a unit for distance over what? The time in hours, remember? So this is 9 hours, kilometers per hour, just like that. So know what distance represents, guys. Distance, when you say kilometers, meters, that is part of what? Part of distance for your level. It is fine like that. Time, hours, minutes, seconds. You know that you're dealing with what? With time when it is like that. All right, so we have kilometers per hour at the end of the day, which is the rate. It's a rate. The average speed, it's a rate. So that is going to give us what? 740 divided by what? By 9. That is going to be 82,22 and so on. So to 2 decimal place, that is going to be 82,22 kilometers per what? Kilometers per hour. So this is what you have as the average speed. It represents a rate. So now you know the difference, guys. A rate is on its own, a ratio on its own. Do not forget that. These two different. So a rate you're considering comparing quantity A to quantity B. It is pay. There must be pay. But we saw that we never had that before when we're dealing with ratios. It was 3:5, which can be written as a fraction. They are sharing something used to share, to divide, which is different from a rate. A rate is used to compare quantities that have two different units. So let's revise as many questions as we can.